Hey everybody, it's Victoria here with Brittany and Stacy from the Bergen DeVoe Real Estate Group. So we are going to talk market. So Stacy, we're going to start talking about the difference between September and October, I guess, with this market update. So what was the average home price in September?
So the average home price in September for the Halifax area was $496,650 if you want to get to the dollar.
Right.
So that was the average sale price last month.
Okay, and then compared to October?
October was 516,000, so we were actually up 4% month over month.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So the average sale price going up.
Yeah, because I think that the general public doesn't believe that to be true, just because of all the crazy headlines that we've seen lately. So we just wanted to kind of shed light on what's actually happening in the marketplace. Yeah, so the average price has gone up.
And a little bit of optimism is always good as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So talking days on market, September, what did that look like?
September we were about 26 days on market, so still pretty good for Halifax.
Yeah.
Like I remember for years it was always about 90 days.
Yeah.
So, but it's different than what it was back in the spring, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for October?
October's 29, so not a whole lot of movement there. So we're about a month on average to sell a property.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's not too bad. Like
No,
you said,
it's just bad compared to
the spring market.
To the last year and a half.
The last year and a half. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
And then number of sales. What did that look like from September to October?
So in September there were 396 sales here in the Halifax area.
Yeah.
Okay. In October.
317, so that's down about 15%, which is fairly significant. So the number of sales is definitely lower. So if you're a seller and you're thinking about listing your property, inventory is low right now. So it might not be a bad time to get on the market.
Yeah, well, we talked about sales being down, but the other point, I guess, like we're saying the inventory is low because in September there were 948 new listings.
Yeah, I guess I should have led with that.
Yeah,
I got ahead of myself.
I know, right? But this is why this is something we're just like, okay, because everything is so doom and gloom online. Right?
Yeah.
But like in October, like how many listings do we have?
So September there was like 48 or whatever. Yeah, and there was only 416 that hit the market in October. And yes, it's October 27th, but we're almost at the end of the month. So we might have, a handful or two
Unless
more.
we get like 500 tomorrow.
It's significantly lower.
So what would you say that means for buyers in this, less inventory? What does that mean for buyers versus sellers, would you say?
So if I'm a seller right now, I feel like a lot of people have been holding off and kind of sitting on the fence and not wanting to list right now because of a lot of the stuff is coming from the media,
right?
And it's not super positive for sellers. But I think when you look at the stats and you see that only 416 properties have hit the market this month, with such a dip, like there's really little competition, and we even noticed in our own listings. So it was really interesting to look at this because when we were looking at our own listings, like we feel that a lot of stuff that didn't sell right away is selling now, and that it's in line with what's happening in the marketplace, so it really makes sense. So I think if you're a seller and you're kind of on the fence right now, I would jump in just because you don't have a ton of competition.
And just to add to that point, I mean, we've been flat out for a long time. We were going 120, right? 120 kilometers an hour type thing. And now we're still about 80, right? So it's like, we're slower, but we're still going.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it's like, I think it's we need to focus a little bit more on facts, of course, but also we need to see the optimism, and we need to be optimistic, right?
And maybe not compare like our market to the crazy market that we just had, because it was historically nuts.
And not even other provinces either, right? Because we have a lot of growth happening here in Halifax, so I think we have to keep that in mind. So,
and we're still seeing like 31% of our properties go over list price.
Right.
That was just last week too. And
that's been the last like couple of weeks. I think it's been fairly consistent. So that's a pretty good number. Again, like if we look back a year or like 6 months ago, even it might have been like 90 to 100%, but 30% is very good for a normal market.
Absolutely.
And that's what we said too, like in this market you gotta either price right or be the prettiest, right? So it is a little bit different in how you market the property.
For sure,
and making sure you take the extra steps to make sure it looks
definitely
good.
And then one other thing Brittany touched on, like what it means to be a seller. What does it mean to be a buyer?
A buyer, well, I know we said about 31% are going above list, but it's way better than it was in the spring. So
Agreed.
there are some opportunities out there. Not everything is going over list. We're seeing some go quite a bit below. So if a property's been sitting on the market, there may be an opportunity there. One, you don't have to compete. Two, you may get it below list price.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
Very good point.
Yeah, and our sellers are getting like over 98% of what they're asking for still. So it is still a strong market. It's just shifted, and we are just kind of getting used to the changes. But it's still a very strong market, even with these interest rate hikes.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you updated. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And
Awesome.
do you guys have anything else?
No,
No,
Okay,
that's
cool.
it.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Thanks,
watching.
guys. Okay.
Thanks.